up and welcome to My Point of View. I am your fat and opinionated host. And ladies and gentlemen, look, I gotta be honest with you all. Even though I've been telling you all since day one that this Bud Light boycott has the potential to grow and become one of the biggest culture war battles we have ever seen, even though I acknowledged how big this can get. From day one, I honestly never thought that we would be here right now, weeks later, still talking about this. Weeks later, still watching Bud Light's sales drop further and further down, now down 17%. I never imagined that Bud Light would have lost so much money in such a quick amount of time. You know, I've watched Bud Light, advertise their beer for years, and to see a powerhouse like Bud Light be dropped to its knees in the matter of days, that's a sight to see. I've talked about it in countless videos in the past that I've been someone who has watched this culture war play out for years, well before it made it into the mainstream. I talk about it all the time, but the culture war really started in pop culture. It started with comic books and gaming and even trading card collecting. Yeah, that's where this stuff started. Now it's made its way mainstream. It's made its way into sports and beer and every other avenue you can think of. But I watched where it began. And I've watched so many battles take place, if you will, only for people to bow out. Only for people to say, oh, that's not a big deal. It's just comics. It's just movies. It's just video games. So watching people actually stick to their guns here, it's nice to see because finally people have had enough. People have had enough. Now, realistically, the whole entire world isn't going to stop drinking Bud Light. Sure, some people will still walk into the corner store and buy a Bud Light. Maybe they'll even buy a case. But that's not the point. I don't think we're looking at a future where people just completely stop drinking Bud Light altogether. But I think we are looking at a future where Bud Light has a bad name. I think we're going to see people who feel uncomfortable drinking Bud Light in public because there's a certain stereotype or there's a certain, I don't know the right word for it at this moment, but it will be viewed a certain way, if you will. Bud Light is on its way to just becoming a meme, which is worse than anything you could ever imagine, trust me, for a company like Bud Light. So people try to downplay this situation like, oh, I still see people drinking Bud Light. I still see stores getting shipments of Bud Light. Yeah, of course. I don't think Bud Light's just going to fall off the map and every person in the world knows about this little drama and they're going to stop drinking. But the people who do know, they have the ability to make a huge impact on this brand. And the people that do know about what's going on, they're the main ones that you don't want knowing about what's going on. Because the people that know about this boycott and know about this drama, they're the ones that are going to be spreading the word to other people. They're the ones in the know. Most of the people you see still buying Bud Light are people who have no idea that any of this is going on. And even if they did, they probably wouldn't care because they don't involve themselves in things like this because they're too busy working and busy with life. But there's no denying the impact that this boycott has had. And I don't even think boycott is the right word. I don't think boycott is necessarily the right word here. This is almost something different. I don't think there's a word in the English language to use. Like, of course we could use boycott, but this is something different. It's more about the culture, if you will. But if you think for 1 second that Bud Light is doing okay, then look no further than what's happening within their organization right now. The person who was responsible for the Dylan Mulvaney ad, she is gone. And now another marketing exec has been placed on leave. And from what my sources tell me, they are being nice here by saying, hey, this person is out on leave or this person is out on leave. From what I've been told, from what a little birdie told me in my ear, this was not voluntary. This was not a voluntary leave of absence where, we're coming under fire. There's a lot of drama. It's stressful. I need to go away for a little while. No, they were told you got to go. Now, will these people possibly crawl back to their jobs once this blows over? Maybe. But if they're smart, and I think they would go ahead and get rid of these people. But just like a point that I made in prior videos, you have to be careful when you hire these woke activists for your company, because then you have a hard time getting rid of them. And when you do get rid of them, they're going to make it about sexism or racism or something else as to why you got rid of them. And they're just going to cause a whole nother issue. So if you want to tank your business, go ahead and hire one of these woke idiots. Go ahead. They will destroy you from the inside out and virtue signal the entire time as it happens. They will weaponize hate mobs against you and label you the worst things in the world that they know aren't true, just for the sake of social justice. But let's take a look at this. A second Bud Light senior marketing executive has been placed on leave following backlash and calls for a boycott over the brand's recent partnership with popular influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Daniel Blake, who oversees marketing for Anheuser Busch's mainstream brands, stepped back from his role on Sunday. It was reported that another executive who was behind the campaign was also taking a leave of absence. So now we have another person out. I can't confirm this for a fact, but it looks like other people's jobs are on the line as well. So Bud Light is panicking. The executives who make these type of calls, who think it's a good idea to partner with people like Dylan Mulvaney, they are panicking. And one thing I know about these big organizations, these big companies, they have so many people on their payroll that they don't need on their payroll. There are so many positions that they have now that shouldn't even exist. These corporations, these companies, in the name of wokeness, they've created all new positions like just to fill with diversity hires. Like, here's the chief executive of diversity in our commercials. What the hell type of freaking job is that? How can you be the chief executive of diversity? Your job is to come in and be like, hey, we need people from other races in this commercial. Why is that a job? But they have positions like that in all of these companies now. And these people realize that you're there for no reason. They don't do honest work. They don't do work at all. They're there for no reason, just so these companies can virtue signal and so they can meet their diversity quotas. So there's all types of positions that they can just axe whenever they want. And these people are nervous. Because when one goes down, the dominoes start falling. These companies realize we don't need these people anyway. They're not helping us. They're destroying us from the inside out. So there's a lot of people at Bud Light right now that are probably fearing for their jobs because they know they have positions that don't even make sense. Look at Twitter as an example. Elon Musk came in, he took over Twitter. 80% of Twitter staff is gone. He fired a lot of them quit, a lot of them walked away. Elon Musk is working with 20% of the workforce that Twitter had before he took over. And Twitter is still up and running every day. I tweet every day. Go follow me on Twitter. So these companies got so many positions that they can get rid of. And if these marketing campaigns, these woke, idiotic marketing campaigns keep backfiring, not only failing, but backfiring to the point that not only are you not sticking, these ads to an audience that accepts them, but you're also losing the audience you had. If this keeps happening, there's a lot of people that work for these companies that are going to be out of a job. And usually, I am not for people losing their jobs, but when you have these idiotic positions that don't even make sense, that were just created a couple of years ago, then so be it. So be it. No one needs these positions that they have in these companies. But it is what it is. I am enjoying watching it all fall down. I hope that we see more things like this in the future. If companies decide that they want to keep pushing their views onto people through their products, then this should happen. And I want to be clear. I want to be very clear here. I don't want Bud Light or any other company promoting my values and my way of life and my opinions to me. Promote your product, not your political views or your social views. So I don't want Bud Light making an ad campaign that's directly for me and how I view the world. No, I just want y'all to promote your beer. And that goes the same for any company. Promote your product. Do not promote your views and opinions about life, about gender ideology, about politics. Do not promote that in your ads, or there will always be pushback. Let me know your thoughts, though, down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, ring that notification bell, and remember to always remain opinionated.